Hello, my name is Gary Shotton, and I'm here as a part of Inspiring Better Business, IBB Talks. And today we're going to talk about the subject, not a newspaper. What do I mean? Well, I happen to be from a small town, farm and ranch community, and the town itself was only 700 people, and our farm was actually 30 miles from that town. But I've moved away, and I'm now many miles away for many years, but they still have a newspaper, and I subscribe to that newspaper, and here's the sample of it. It's called the Kiowa County Independence. And it was well written, and I receive it about weekly, but I don't just stop and read it right away. I wait till I have a little time, and when I read through it, I'm not really studying it. I'm just seeing what's happening. Oh, a friend of mine from high school did this, and oh, these kids played sports, and oh, somebody had a baby. All those kind of things, and it's interesting, but it's not what I'm studying. I'm not detailed. I don't really care when I read about it, and I'm not trying to remember. It's just information. Same's true with people that post on Facebook. A lot of that is something that's just good information, but not something you would study. But I'm strongly suggesting that as you read the Bible, that you read it quite differently than reading a newspaper. That's what I mean by not a newspaper. Because when you're reading the Bible, if you're not careful, you'll be kind of reading it as if it was a historical event and be thankful for it and interesting. And especially when you're studying the Bible regarding business and finance and how the Word of God is full of business examples. And a lot of people look at me kind of funny and say, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes. I'm telling you, if you will read the Word of God with the eye of your understanding, that your eyes be opened, that they be enlightened," as it says in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 12, 14, 15, 16, right in there, that more than one version talks about your eyes being open. So you should start reading on the subject of business, and when you're reading the Bible and you're interested in that, and you'll see that many more things related to business will come through. Well, I read other books. I'll give you some examples here. I was asked that, what kind of books do I read? Well, one's Dave Green, Hobby Lobby, the story of Hobby Lobby. Another one is S. Truett Cathy, the story of Chick-fil-A. Those are in our area. And the other one is the story of Sam Walton and how Walmart got it created and started. And those are valuable. And even when I read those, if you noticed, I tab those, so that if I want to speed read it, I don't want to read the whole thing again, I can just go to those tabs. Well, I'm studying that because I want to learn from somebody else that has more experience than I have. And I'm telling you that if we're not careful, we don't look at the Word of God that way. I have two Bibles here. One that's called the Passion Bible. It is one that is much more recent, wording more consistent with today's time. And the other is my good old King James Version, And I have on my phone, over on the counter there, is my digital copy of the Bible. Well, I have plenty of opportunities. I have plenty of Bibles. I got plenty of information, but it's up to me to read it differently. Read it. And you can take another subject like marriage and read the Bible regarding how you would be married and that kind of subject. But our subject is business. How does the Word of God talk about business, and what can I learn from it? Well, in a kind of a popcorn fashion, in other words, just bang, 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 I'd like to just highlight some of those things that I've seen, and then hopefully that will encourage you or spur you on to look at the way you read the Bible. And again, you read for other things, not just business and finance and money, and you're not reading it in order to, quote, get rich. You're just reading it to understand what we call God's laws for doing business. Well, here are some of those things that I like to point out. In the Old Testament, just right off the bat, the creation. Wow, there's so many business lessons, so many about the character of God from creation. One is just that God created the earth with systems and processes. It's real obvious. He created the heavens, the moon, the stars, the oceans, mankind, humankind, the fish, and then eventually mankind. And all of those were created after their own kind. That would mean every part of creation human was created so that it reproduced itself. It had systems and processes. In my body, I have all kinds of systems and processes, and so my body is designed to work in systems and processes. Well, maybe your business ought to work in systems and processes. Maybe my body is most efficient when everything's working in harmony, and if something's wrong, I go fix that. Well, maybe in your business, if everything's in harmony and repeating itself and predictable, the things that systems create, then if something's wrong, you go fix that. You're going to have a healthier business. What about quality in creation? Well, God created so many things on the first day, the second day, and the third day, and the fourth day, and eventually on the sixth day, He created humans. But after each day, He said, and it was good. Wow. That's His statement of quality. He put His stamp of approval on quality when He said, and it is good. And I believe it was on the sixth day He says, and it was very good. Wow, that means we had quality. Another popcorn is Noah's Ark. You know, I had a chance to go visit Noah's Ark replica in the state of Kentucky, and I heard someone speak on that subject, and I didn't realize that Noah was already a student and skilled boat maker. His wife, actually his father, was a boat constructed boat. So God didn't just choose anybody. He chose somebody that already has some skill sets. And you know, that's what we look for. When we're looking for somebody to work in our company, we like to find somebody that already has a knowledge to be there, a desire to be there, and then also that they already have an aptitude for it. And then we try to determine whether or not they're going to actually be dedicated and committed to finish on the course and actually make a career of it. Well, Noah made a career of 120 years of making that ark under very tough situations. Well, another one, David killing Goliath. We know that story. And he negotiated the contract. You know, if you read there close before he actually went in and finally agreed, he said, tell me again now, what do I get? He got a reward. I believe it was up to half of the kingdom, and also the king's daughter, I believe. But anyway, he knew what his contract was. Well, you should know your contract. And then he didn't just come into killing a Goliath like a young boy that didn't have any skills. He had determined and pre-created the reality that he could, with his slingshot, could kill the bear, the lion, and he knew how to do that. So he wasn't guessing whether or not he was going to be able to take down Goliath. He knew that. He had confidence of it. But it's because he created and had built his own skill sets. Well, if you're going to be in business or you're going to have a job, create and build your own skill sets. Well, quickly, this popcorn again goes into the New Testament. The very first miracle that Jesus performed was turning water into wine. Well, first of all, again, the subject of quality. If you notice, when he took the wine, the sample out of the newly created on the second day wine, in other words, they had already been there 2 days, then the person accepting that in charge of the wedding said, wow, this is the best wine I've had, much better than what you started with. And so we see again quality. Once again, there's record keeping in that, because Jesus didn't just say, go get me some water. He said he got 6 pots of water. It was recorded, the amount and quantities of water. We knew what size of water. This wasn't some little bitty jugs. This was big quantities. Some 600 to 900 gallons of water were now created into wine. There's another one, the parable of sowing seeds. That's in Matthew chapter 13. This is a parable. So whether it's a miracle or a parable, I'm telling you, the Word of God is full of business skills, business lessons. And yes, you can read biographies like I suggested, but you can also learn and should learn the laws of God's doing business in the Word of God. Well, thanks for being a part of Inspiring Better Business. We want you to know that the Word of God is more than a book, a textbook for Sunday school lessons, more than a book for life living. It's also a book for doing business, handling finances, handling money. And Ephesians again says, if you will pray that prayer, that the eyes of your understanding might be enlightened to the truth of what's in the Word of God, I think you'll benefit. Thanks for being a part of Inspiring Better Business.